Hi and welcome to another episode of The Free Voice. I'm your host Aga Wilson, and today I'm honored to have Max Winter with me. And Max is the founder of the Swedish Freedom Movement. I'm going to let you introduce yourself a bit more. So nice to be face to face to someone finally.
Yeah.
Welcome, Max.
Thank you, Agnieszka. Nice to be here, and yeah, that's correct. I'm a freedom activist. I'm also a founder of something we call the Freedom Movement, but I wouldn't say that I'm the founder myself, because the movement is already existing and it's very widespread and many people involved.
Thank you. So I have a question for you, because as many people have asked, we never had really any lockdowns in Sweden. So many people are questioning why a freedom movement? Why are you out protesting, and what made you create it?
Actually, yeah, I think the question of freedom is more important than ever right now, because we see a worldwide escalation of freedoms being taken from us. So actually here in Sweden we have been quite open, as you said, but still they are kind of a totalitarian tiptoe is going on, where they're taking piece by piece and bit by bit of our freedoms. And even here we have restrictions and mandatory masks in some areas, and restriction of movement and so on, and I don't think anyone should accept that.
And I know that the protests have not been allowed during this time. I mean, they are now, but they weren't before during the restrictions. So how were you handled, during these? How did you handle them? How did the police handle them, and the government? What happened there?
It was pretty crazy. So the whole thing actually started with the 1,000-man march. That was a big march of people walking together, and the goal was to assemble at least 1,000 people, and we managed that by far. And that was 6th of March, and the whole thing began from that on.
Frihet Sverige, vi har fått nog! 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 Frihet Sverige, vi har fått nog!
So kind of taking action and being an activist is something new for me, but in these times it feels so natural to be the one standing in the front. And I've been leading these marches, in the front with my, like speaker, and chanting words and building up energy. And of course the police have been noticing that, so they have fined me in different ways. So I got multiple fines. Also they've been trying to stop the demonstration itself, walking in several occasions without success. And I think the budget they had was 1.5 million kroners, and we had 1,500 kroners in our budget, and we managed to, in some way, during the demonstration 1st of May, actually complete the whole thing. And they had like at least 30 to 40 police cars and police horses, and I don't know what happened, but we actually managed to fulfill the whole thing. And it feels like they tried that strategy first, and they noticed that they almost got more bad publicity by doing it. And letting us just be free now and do our thing is much easier for them. So I think they kind of changed their strategy, and they also tried to pin me down. They went to my apartment in the morning, 7 policemen with pistols or guns, and also they had the bulletproof vests, and they dragged me to the police station and tried to nail me down and make me stand down and not stand up for what is right. But they only made me even stronger, so I've been using that energy and I'm transmuting it now to do even more good things for freedom.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what does the Swedish Freedom Movement look like today? Where are you going? What's going to happen? I mean, we don't have restrictions right now anymore. We don't know if we're going to have them in the future though, but right now it's not happening. So what is your vision of the whole movement for the near future?
Yeah, as I said in the beginning, then the movement has been existing for a while, and we're calling our organization the Freedom Movement because we are serving the Freedom Movement. We are helping different projects right now to be completed. And it can be anything from gathering people and unifying people, it can be education, it can be also building communities for the future to be completely self-sufficient from the system. So we are right now helping different initiatives to really create good projects that can, align everyone to the goal of freedom. So I think it's very hard to say what's going to happen. It's going to grow very organically. I think that is a power by itself. But my vision is building something new, a new society, based on natural law, based on, the connection with the divine, connection with the truth. I would say the most important thing. And we are today in the system, in the world, and in society, not aligned to the truth anymore. We have dropped nature and the truth, and that's why we're not free anymore. We only live in a fake freedom, which is more comfort-based, I would say.
So what do you think, according to you, what's happening in the world right now, and how is what's Sweden's role in that whole thing?
Yeah, very interesting question. I think it's a power grab, you could say. And there are some people right now with a lot of resources and power that wants even more power and resources, and they are taking everything they can. And that's something that's been going on for a while, but they are really going all in now. And it's going to be on the cost of the people. And you can see this development right now all over the world, even in Australia, where you can't even go to work anymore without having a vaccine pass. That is insane, like something from George Orwell, 1984. And it's reality right now in many places. But Sweden and the Nordic countries in general are more open right now. Even Denmark and Norway is also open. So it feels like it's a different agenda, and people are very brainwashed, I would say, in these countries, unfortunately. So they go along with the government because they trust them so much, no matter what. So they take this jab, these vaccines, and they don't question things. And I think that they don't need to push it that hard here, actually, because people will comply. It's more like a sheepish mentality.
So Max, so what do you? I know that what made the marches, going back to them, so successful in your opinion, and what was it that you did differently? I know that you managed to escape the censorship a little bit by being strategic about it. So what did you do?
Yeah, actually, that's very true, because we used the slogan for freedom and truth, and without going into the polarity of the politics, left and right and all that, we managed to kind of be above that, and we were not against something, not against any virus in particular, just for freedom and truth. And I think that is a way to really be successful in these times, because they are really using the divide and conquer strategy to separate us. And when we can stand for something that everyone can agree upon, it's much easier to come together. I think that was very crucial for that. And then also the concept of having this large banner in the front and marching together. It's a freedom movement, we're marching. There's also energy in that, and I think it's very important and symbolic as well. And I think a lot of people appreciate it. And I've been a football supporter my whole life, so I've been kind of taking that inspiration from there, and all these chants and these songs and building up energy together. And we're gonna have actually our 4th big march now here, the 30th of October, and it's gonna be in the evening with torches and flares, and we're gonna have a lot of fire, and we will light up the whole city here in Stockholm and spread light on this question about discrimination for unvaccinated people in these times.
Thank you. And I did love that you were giving roses to the police also during the marches, so you really kept it very peaceful and very, very, it's a beautiful way of just showing that we're not here to create problems, we're here to actually wake people up. And on another note with coming together, because I know that there is a lot of division even within the awakened people, so to speak. And I know that's something you're working on. So how do we overcome that, to come together and really make a change? Because
we need to drop our lower selves now and step into our purpose, which is the higher self, the soul. And I see there's a lot of conflict because people get into their egos, they go into this thinking only about me energy, and we need to kind of look at the bigger picture, the cause. Why are we all here? We are here to create freedom for ourselves and others. And the more you can do that, and you can also sacrifice for the greater good, I think the more we can align and unify. So it's a very important time right now to drop the old and go into something new, and also be brave enough to do that. So yeah, I think that is important. And also, I mean, unifying is, for me, is also love. Love itself is opening up, and they are spreading fear right now in society, and the fear is closing people down. So we need to be open-hearted and receivable to information and to what's going on, and see different perspectives, also both sides as always, and then be brave enough to take side, and not always in the minority, which is the narrative right now. Sometimes the minority is the one that's right, and I think this is the case in this situation we're in.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think it's really important for us to, you know, overlook all of the differences we have right now. I think it's you know, we really have to come together because we have to have a mutual goal, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to, you know, really actually have those differences, you know, and still come together, because we don't have to agree on everything, right? So I think that's amazing. So what's the future plan? How do we win this?
We're gonna win this. The question is only how we will do it exactly. So I think the focus now is, you know, we have the free will to decide ourselves and to respect the people they want to take this vaccine. If they want to do it, that's fine. That's their choice. But we need to respect the people that doesn't want it and that understand that this is part of something else. And I think it's really important now to unify all the people that have the same feeling, and that's the same page, the same question you can unify behind. We want our freedom of choice. We don't want to compromise ourselves by, you know, allowing this experimental thing affect us in any way, even in society or with any pass or anything. You know, move the freedom, the freedom of move wherever you want is also something that we need to have. So it feels like that is the question right now, and I see that as long as we still have respect for others and their choices, they need to respect us as well. And I think we are, you know, growing stronger by the day, and we're gonna win through love, unifying, finding the truth. I think is very important, and I'm not just talking about the truth in this question. The truth is universal, and that is what aligns us to freedom. If you know that truth, you will be set free. That's the quote, and that is actually the truth in this case. So to be free, we need to really, you know, align our energies in the right direction, and coming together by doing that will be successful, I think.
Yeah, truth is a tricky one.
Yeah,
because everyone has their own truth, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to come together, you know, in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do you see there being like one truth? Because I often see that people, I mean, whatever they live in is their truth, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, how do we move towards one truth?
Very good
to
question. Yeah, it's very interesting because I think it's both at the same time. So each and every one of us have our own truths, and it's up to us to align that inner truth, it can be whatever it is, to the universal truth, and that is absolute. Doesn't matter what we think about it, there is one absolute truth, and you cannot judge anyone upon how good they are at aligning to that universal truth. So our purpose as souls is to be as moral and aligned as possible to the truth, because the truth is the fundament of all universal principles in the natural law, how everything functions. And we have free will to choose not to be aligned and to go against the truth, and that is fine as well if we want to do that. But yeah, our truth is our own, but we can always be as close as possible to the real truth, the one that's really, you know, important.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we eventually will move like towards the same truth, but we all have our own paths to like get there.
Exactly. Yeah, we need to respect and have patience for everyone in the process of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So what about freedom? What is freedom to you?
Freedom is a sensation for me, which I can experience internally, and I've been experiencing that quite a lot in my life. I've been going through some rough times, also being, you know, sick and getting these labels by the doctors. You will never get better. You will never be able to even walk again, or, you know, work out or move. And that took my freedom away from me. But I understood then that also freedom is a perception of the mind, how I choose to feel. And I'm gonna be free, whatever's gonna happen. I will be free because I choose it myself. But then, of course, I will also create external circumstances for even more freedom in my surroundings. And I think that is what we're doing right now. We are creating something new where people can be themselves. They can be who they are, and they have the freedom of choice, the freedom of speech. All these, natural things that all humans should have. And we're in such a system and society. I think we can thrive, and I think we can create a paradise on Earth that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, I think so. So, what do you want to tell people? How can they get involved? Like, what is the most important thing for all individuals out there that are listening to this to do now, to help us, get where we want to be?
It's one thing, actually. It's very simple. It's taking action.
And how can we do that?
Yeah, it comes from ourselves. We need to be brave enough to take action and to step out of our comfort zones. And in the spiritual community, there's a lot of talk about that you only need to think something to manifest. But that is actually a misunderstanding. It's three parts that needs to be aligned. You have your thoughts, your consciousness, or actually these three are consciousness by themselves. But you have the mental aspect, with your mind when you're thinking. You have your heart, the care for the love, also the care for something that you care doing it. A lot of people don't care and they don't do anything, but you need to care to make something happen. And then you need to have the willpower, the action to manifest it into the physical world. And when these three are aligned together, then things will happen. And taking action is the most important part of that, because otherwise nothing will happen at all. So I see a lot of passivity, so people are kind of, waiting for a savior, but it's only us that will save ourselves, no one else. And I think that if everyone understands that just take action and learn from whatever happens in the process is the way to go, I think we will be free eventually.
I have to agree with that. So if people want to get involved, here in Sweden with the Freedom Movement, or just in general find out more about your work and what you have done here, where can they find you?
So we're gonna actually hopefully launch the Freedom Movement internationally as well. So freedommovement.world will be coming up, because this platform can be international, it can be worldwide, and it will work as a platform for, as I said, create other projects, kind of give resources to different initiatives. So I think that website in the future will be somewhere you can find the movement itself, and then you can contact me. I have an email, iammaxwinter@pm.me, and also on Facebook or Instagram, iammaxwinter, and I'm up for any contribution in any way, and help other people and also receive support in the cause.
And what about the platform? Tell us more about what the plans are for this big platform that you're building.
Yeah, if you think about modern companies, like Uber, for instance, they kind of took over the whole world with taxi driving, and instead of having their own cars or drivers, they provide a platform. So actually this idea came from that, like how can we create a platform where we can expand other projects and help them in this cause of freedom. And I see it's a very high potential, because you have the organic growth as well, and it's not restricted in any container, which means that all the energy that flows, all the momentum that people want to take now in this direction can go through this kind of channel. And when we can channel energy together, then we get much more power as well and get more results. So I can really see that it's gonna grow, and it has great potential.
I am very grateful for having you on today. Thank you so much for all the amazing work you're doing, and good luck with the march, and good luck with the platform, and we'll have you back, I'm sure.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.